This is Marty with Rolling Dice and Taking Names, and I want to take a minute and share with you one of the most unique gaming experiences I have ever had. The other night I had the chance to try out Tragedy Looper by Z-Man Games. Now you may have heard about this game. It was a hot game at Gen Con. It was on a lot of people's buy list, and to be honest with you, a few weeks before Gen Con I really haven't given it much thought. And one reason was I did a bad thing. I judged a game by the box cover. I'm not a big anime fan, and there's a lot of anime art on the front, so it didn't really appeal to me right off the bat. But then I started reading about the mechanics of the game, and that's what got me interested. So I went to our game club the other night, and somebody brought the game, and so I said, I have got to try this. If you haven't heard about the game, here it is. It's not a Euro. It's not an Ameritrash, it's more of a deduction game. I guess that's the best way to put it. So here's the deal. This is a co-op game where there's a group of you from 2 to 3 players are going against a game master or a mastermind. So here's how this works. The mastermind has a script that he's trying to run through. It's almost like he's trying to pull the strings on a major story. We, the players, are trying to interrupt him and keep him from going through his story. He has these plots that he's trying to develop, or subplots that he's trying to do, or instances he's trying to make happen. And what happens is this is done over the course of days. It's almost like you're telling a story with some characters that are on the board. And the board consists of nothing more than 4 pieces of cardboard that are labeled as rooms, just like a hospital, school, etc. And you have these character cards that are placed in certain locations on the board. As the players against the mastermind, you really have no idea what's going on at the beginning. He's trying to develop a story, but what happens over the course of the game is you try to figure out what is he trying to do against you. So here's like an example of gameplay. Everybody has a set of cards, and the mastermind will play out, let's say there's 4 people playing, the mastermind versus 3. The mastermind will play out 3 cards, either on a person or a location. Then each player takes one of their cards and puts it on a player or location. These cards do different things. They will provide resources such as goodwill that you can put on a character that may trigger an ability on the character. Or maybe the mastermind is trying to increase the intrigue of a character or of a location because that's what he needs to do to get his plot to trigger. Or it could be that he's trying to get paranoia onto a character. And there's a certain max amount of paranoia that each character card can have, and once that happens, that might trigger an incident on a certain day, which would be bad for us too. So let's say that we're going through the days and everybody plays their cards and everybody flips the cards over at once and you just resolve. It could be moving people around, bumping up goodwill, removing intrigue, blocking movement. There's several mechanics there that you can look up on the rules and see exactly what happens. But let's say during the course of the day or over the course of several days, he triggers his event. He just says, stop. I've just triggered my event. We're looping back. We're going back in time. The board is totally reset back to the beginning. And now we as the players have to figure out, wait a minute, what just happened to trigger that event? Now, over the course of the game, you're going to find that these characters have roles that are hidden from you as the player that only the mastermind knows. But each of these roles may have a special ability. Say, for example, one of them was a serial killer. If ever at the end of a day, they have these day and night phases, if there's ever the serial killer alone in the room with somebody else, that other character, that character is killed. When that happens, us as the players realize, that guy's role must be the serial killer. Now that we know that, we have these player aids that we look at. There's a limited number of major plots that he's trying to complete, or subplots. So we look on these plots and subplot tables and determine which one of these contains a serial killer. And any ones that don't contain a serial killer, oh, that was great English, does not contain a serial killer, means that that plot's not this part of the game. So now we're trying to deduce roles of characters. We're trying to deduce what plot is he trying to do. And then in the process, we're trying to stop him from completing that plot. Now, there's different scenarios, and the game comes with like 10 scenarios or scripts to run through. We just played the first couple, but it was simply amazing. It was one of the most mind-blowing games I've ever played, because at the beginning we know nothing. We start moving around and things start happening, and he starts making guys kill other people, or he may make one character increase paranoia on another character, which kind of reveals who that role is. And then as we're going along, all of a sudden he'll say, stop, we're going to roll back time, you just triggered a loop. And then we go, what just happened for that loop to occur? And then we look at the board and we try to decide. So there's all these things going on: plot determination, role determination. And here's the kicker. So we played this game twice. In the first game, we as the players actually won. We figured out the roles, we figured out the plot, and was able to successfully stop him from doing it. So that one we had to get through 4 days without him triggering the plot. We win the game. Second time we played, we did a different script. And this one had 5 days to it. And if there was a loop back of 4 times or more, game was over, Mastermind won. Here's the thing. We figured out the plot, the subplot, and every role of every character on the board after the second loop. That means we had 2 more loops to stop him from completing his objective. We knew what the objective was, and we lost. Because at that point, the bluffing comes in. Because there's multiple ways to win. If he triggers a major plot point, or a subplot point, or there are certain days where certain incidents, if you can get that incident trigger on like at the first day or the second day, and you're told what days that incident might occur, if any of those happens, that's it. The loop triggers. So we don't know which one he's really going for, and he can bluff. He can put a card on a character thinking, oh, he's going to try to move this character to get with another character. No, that was just a bluff. He's actually trying to do something here on the other side of the board. Mind-blowing. It was one of the most unique mechanics I have ever played. In fact, this is like my second time recording this video, because I actually, when I got home that night after playing the game, I tried to make a video and I was just so awestruck and I was flabbergasted and just couldn't get my words out, and it kind of looked something like this. Wow. It was mind-blowing. Wow. So here's the deal. I'm not really reviewing this game because I haven't played it enough. I've only played through 2 scenarios, and they were the starting ones. There are all these other scenarios which have 2 subplots. We just played with a major plot and 1 subplot. There's has 2 subplots, which makes it even more complicated. So I need to play the game some more. I need to try the game as the mastermind to see how that works. But let me tell you what, this is one of the biggest brain-burning games I've ever played. Now, you know how Euros are brain burners in that maybe you're trying to build an economic engine, or there's a lot of mathy, crunchy things you're trying to do. This is strict logic and deduction. And we were probably doing a lot of table talk among the co-op players, and we were talking about our moves and whatnot, and the mastermind told us, he said, you know, there is a version of this where you can't talk at all. The only time you can discuss is when there's a loop triggers, and you can talk about what you feel is going on, but then after that, you can't talk. So you can't say like, I think this guy's this, and this guy's this, you do this on your turn, you do this, etc. Which makes it even harder. Also, I wish we'd had a pen and paper, because after a couple loops, you start forgetting, wait a minute, what role was this guy, and what was his objective? So you can make this game a lot easier by allowing table talk and taking notes. You remove those 2 elements, it really gets difficult because you got to memorize everything. I don't know how people will take this game. After the game was over, we actually said that there are going to be some people that do not like this game. It's so deep, and how much thought you have to have, and how much is going on, and there's a lot of moving bits, and some people are going to kind of shy away from it, while others will really like it. But I will say this, try this game. You may play the game and get up and go, nah, I don't like it, it's not my sort of thing. You may try the game and get up and go, that was awesome, I can't wait to try again. I don't know which way you'll go on that, but I can guarantee this. You will get up and say, that is one of the most unique gameplay experiences I've ever had.